Hello, hello,
Welcome,
hello,
welcome,
everybody.
welcome.
We are live in two spots. We are live with you here on the good old Bookface, and we are also live on Instagram. And hopefully, if you're watching this later, you'll catch us wherever you're watching it. But I'm Paul Green.
And I'm Kate Austin.
And we are here with you to talk a little bit about our thing that we're doing, our live coaching on Tuesday, around the loving topic of releasing weight loss, which is everyone's favorite thing to talk about.
And regaining your life.
Yes. And we have a slightly different approach to weight loss, don't we?
We have a totally different approach, actually. And, so many people are on the hamster wheel of yo-yo dieting, of losing it and then putting back on. And there's a lot of
guilt and shame and
trauma connected to weight loss, because you usually have to sacrifice a lot, and it's a struggle, and you're either calorie restricting or you're doing all these things, and you feel, if you slip up, there's all this guilt and shame, and it's this toxic cycle. And then you get to the certain weight that you wanted to get to, and you're like, oh, thank goodness. And then you eat again, and then it all comes back, and it feels like, oh, it was all for nothing.
Yeah.
And so
some people weigh more after a diet than they did even before, like, because they crush their metabolism, or they do some crazy, they beat themselves up even harder.
Yeah. And there's no hard and fast way for
hard and fast way
for anyone to, not one diet suits every body.
Right.
Every body is different.
Every body.
And we have to identify what is going to work for your body. And so I think that's where people go wrong, or people, lose hope, or just be like, forget about it. I'm just going to eat the Doritos. I'm just going to eat the cake, because what's the point? It's always going to come back anyway. So what we're doing a live coaching on tried and true tested methods that we were never a weight loss program at all. Yet it's the number one thing that happens. People start releasing more weight than they've ever released, and it stays off. They maintain this healthy, vigorous way of living. And as someone that some of you may or may not know, I recently had a baby. And when you're pregnant, you carry around extra weight, and I was carrying around an extra 40 pounds of weight. And it's taxing on the body. It's harder to walk. It's harder to move around. It's hard. It's harder on your body and your joints and your lungs. And obviously when you've got a baby pressing on it, that's a whole other thing. But I could tell the difference of my energy levels, of the way it moved around when I was 40 pounds extra, carrying 40 pounds extra. Now some people are carrying around 100 extra, 150 extra. Imagine what you would regain in your life when you are not carrying that extra weight around.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what you think you would regain if you released that weight that you have always wanted to. Let us know, like, what would you be experiencing if you weren't dragging that around? Like, what would the experience be for you? Like, some people with freedom would be energetic, and the energy to chase after your grandkids or your kids. And the reason we say release and not lose, because when you lose weight, quite often people go looking for it. Just like losing your car keys or losing your phone, you always go looking for it. So it's a slight tweak, and Kate and I are very, very, very energy. Suzanne said energy. Kate and I are very picky.
Sandra says confidence.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're picky with language because...
and so we're telling people, you're writing in the comments what you'd regain if you released the weight that you're carrying around that you don't like anymore. So keep those comments coming.
What would you gain? What would you regain if you were able to release some of those all unwanted...
Bridget, vitality, energy, the ability to play sports again. Yes!
Yeah, Bridget. See, that's a future to live into. That's a powerful why. And we're going to dip into a toxic cycle here shortly and share one of the most amazing insights that we've ever learned. We're going to go deeper into it on Tuesday. But the main thing, if you're just joining us, Kate and I are doing live coaching Tuesday at 5 o'clock Pacific, just a few days from now. But we wanted to tease it a little bit and give you guys an opportunity to sign up. What?
Ali said she's good at losing weight, but even better at finding it.
People sometimes get so good at it, they find more every time. And they're like, what the Smurf? Why am I heavier? Washington
What the
State.
Smurf?
Hi. So share what you would gain. Energy, Suzanne said. Energy. What else we got here? But so Kate and I are very disciplined with language. So if somebody says something that's tough on themselves or destructive, or says something like lose weight, it's, believe it or not, the devil is in the details. And if you start to shift your language, how you talk to yourself in your head and talk to others, but one of these key around weight loss is you don't want to lose weight, you want to release it, and so much is connected to releasing weight that's connected to something in your past, in the emotional side. And Kate has her master's in NLP and is a Tony Robbins trained strategic intervention coach. And so Kate's really good at helping people identify traumas and things, not just identify, but get strategies to work through them. That could be one of the beginning points of when you started to need weight to keep you safe and things like that. There's so much to weight loss, but it is definitely a mind and a body connection.
And that's where so many diets get it wrong, because you can't just treat the symptoms. It's just like when you have a headache and you take a pain med, you're not actually looking at what's creating the headache in the first place. Let's solve the root cause rather than the symptoms. Now, so many diets are just dealing with the symptoms, which is obviously weight, right? But then you lose it and you don't deal with the root cause of why you had gained weight in the first place. And then that's why it returns to you, because you haven't dealt with the root cause. So that's what we're going to dive into. Weight release is a whole... We have our son just wanting to tell you all the things as well. But weight gain is a whole body, mind, emotional thing. And so if you are just dealing with the body but not dealing with the mind and the emotions, or the event that might have happened as to why you started putting on weight, then it's going to keep returning to you over and over again, because your body is saying, hey, wake up. You aren't dealing with the root cause of this, so we're going to keep putting it on until you actually look at the thing you don't want to look at. And so that's what we are going to dive into deeper. But what we want to talk about is toxic cycles.
Yes, and someone in the comments up there said, are you telling me that people are holding on to weight because of some trauma in their past? It's not always the case.
Not always.
But it's sometimes a place to look. Often it's something in your past that you've made up a decision, or somebody said something, you made it mean something, and then you've created an entire story about it that has you make choices. And some of those choices are toxic cycle choices. And let's give you the definition of a toxic cycle first. Toxic cycle is when you do things that you know are bad for you, but they feel good. And an example of that would be smoking a cigarette. Like, you know that a cigarette, if you're in a toxic cycle, when you're tired, you're lethargic, and you go to smoke a cigarette, and you actually feel some release from it, some release of tension. So something terrible for you feels good, and something that's really good for you feels bad. So going for a run then would feel bad for a smoker.
Yeah, and so when you know, as a smoker, when they're feeling really stressed and tight, and then they go out and they have that smoke, oh, I feel so much better. That is a perfect example of that toxic cycle, because you're feeling good doing something you know is bad for you. Whereas if you're in a good cycle, you might have a drag of that cigarette and be like, oh, it tastes disgusting. Yes. This is gross. Why am I doing this? And so your body and your mind is like, no, not for me. That is you're not in a toxic cycle.
That's right. And people get in toxic cycles in relationships, and especially around food and weight gain, where they know the food that makes them feel like crap, but they still eat it. They choose to watch a movie and down a bag of chips, even though they know it will make them feel terrible. So they're choosing to do something that they know will make them feel bad, but they keep choosing it over and over again. So that's a toxic cycle.
Yeah.
So we're going to get a little more into that on Tuesday on what makes a toxic cycle, how to break a toxic cycle, how to bring some awareness to toxic cycles.
And we're going to do some live coaching for a couple of people. So we want you to put in your comments what you think your toxic cycle is, and make sure you sign up, because we're going to bring some people on and actually coach them through some of the stuff that might be locked into why they're in that toxic cycle. So this is a great reason why to show up, because even if you're not the one that gets the coaching, you're going to learn so much from the other people getting the coaching. And then Haley, I just want to point out, Haley said, I lost it and I gained it back, and this week someone said we have to love our new shape, but I wanted to get back to how I was in uni. Now, people say this all the time, I want to get back to this. There is no going back, right? We get to love our bodies where we are and love where we're creating ourselves to go, because we can't go backwards, you know, and we do. Any woman, anytime we were at our skinniest or our fittest, we're always trying to get back there. And sometimes we got there from our skinniest because we got really sick. And then everyone at the end of it was like, oh, you look so fantastic, but it wasn't sustainable. It wasn't our natural body shape. Right. And it's, you know, and then we always feel like we're less than because we're never quite that again. Now, we're creating what you get to be. And you get to really, it just depends on your commitment and your time. You can create any type of body shape you want with the commitment and time, right? We've seen women in their 80s become bodybuilders, you know. We've seen these things. They didn't, you know, and it takes time. But there are ways in which to really have your body working in an equilibrium that has you just being able to release weight naturally, easily, healthily, and to start looking at what are the root causes as to why in the past you continue to yo-yo or put
that's
back
true.
on.
And that's from my perspective. So Kate and I have a course and that's what the webinar, the live coaching on Tuesday is about, is we want to share with you one of our offerings, which is a 6-week journey that is an on-ramp into our beautiful, bigger community that is that meets together twice a month. And Kate and I have helped hundreds and hundreds of people on their health and wellness journey, and in it they get completion around relationships, and sometimes with dead relatives that they are not forgiving, and then some of the weight just falls off. But Kate and I have a body, mind, and connection course that we've been working on for the last 3 years, and have taken hundreds of people through this journey, and a journey of really creating a life that they love. And so we're going to be sharing about that on Tuesday and giving you an opportunity to join us in our next one, which starts pretty soon, right?
Yeah, June 6th is the next one. Is
our next little 6-week journey. So we really want to create for you what it is, and really create for you, you know, one of the biggest areas is weight loss, weight release that our participants share with us. So we wanted to share a couple testimonials about what they've gone through, and also give an opportunity to coach you a little bit on Tuesday. But I think we should probably see if you guys have any questions, let us know. Did you see any?
I mean, there's been a lot, I think. Ruth has been replying to some there, but they're going so. My job is stressful. I eat sugar to feel better. Toxic repeat.
Yeah, I can't read that.
It's going so fast. But yeah, guys, all of your toxic cycles, we want you to think about them. Think about what it is that is there for you, and then come on Tuesday ready to put your hand up and get the coaching that you around it. So, because we're gonna really dive in deep there. Because it's on Zoom, we can bring you on and we can actually do a live coaching, which is what it's all about.
That's right. And I think Ruth is putting the link for you to join us. But if you're on Instagram, there's a link in my bio to sign up to come to the live coaching Tuesday at 5.
Yeah, and you can just sign up right away for the boot camp. If you're like, yes, I want to get going, just get in there and sign up. Otherwise,
Yeah.
come to us on Tuesday. Come with all your questions.
That's right.
We really want to dig in deep. We know this is an issue that really that really
matters to-
affects a lot of people.
It's a domino piece. It's one of those pieces that often when people get to their body into equilibrium and a healthy balance of inches in weight, because you can gain muscle and not lose weight. So we're talking about body composition here, where you feel great, you feel energetic and trim and confident, but a lot of times it's a domino piece. When people release weight, they get instantly confident. Some of them, people switch their jobs because they feel so much more like themselves, and or change their relationships, or begin to do something they love and actually create more wealth and abundance for themselves, because often weight is the domino piece that when you get that body composition, energetic feeling, because life is energy, and if you're lethargic and eating crappy food and sitting on the couch, every area of your life,
and then you get depressed, and then you have anxiety. There's all of these things that so many people. You loved what you were doing, saying there. So
you loved it so much.
I cut in, but depression, anxiety, all of these really sort of things that drag us down are all connected to what we're doing and our body being in equilibrium and the food we're putting into our body. So,
but what I was saying on top of that, and it's in alignment with that, is if you're tired, lethargic, and not at your ideal weight, every area will suffer in your life. Your relationships, your spiritual life, your finances, because it's just hard. You don't have the energy because you're or the confidence, or even the generosity, because we get so self-absorbed when you feel the weight of the world literally on your shoulders. So I look at it as one of those big pieces, domino pieces, that when you get this one right, so many other areas kind of find balance. And this is the biggest area that we've had folks in our programs lose 100 pounds, 105 pounds, 85 pounds. Actually, we're going to read a testimonial right here for you.
And she's here, actually. Deborah's
is
here.
She?
Yeah.
Deborah's here?
Yeah.
Well, Deborah, we're going to call you out because Deborah, this is what she said.
She just wrote this within the last month, and she wrote it on our Freedom Tribe page. But she said, I started the work in this group on 5/10/21. I was at a low, hopeless point in my life. I felt like my whole life revolved around medicine and doctors. I was seeing 4 regularly, and I was still not getting any help. Everything was continuing to get worse. I am so thankful that I joined this group, and I am not exaggerating when I say that it has saved my life. In 1 year, I have released 85.8 pounds, come off 5 medicines, and cut 1 more in half. Dropped 2 doctors. My skin is better. My mobility is improving greatly. I can't even describe how much better I feel. This is one, and I think she's in here now, Deborah, so always great to see. But this is the sort of results that people have with us. Now, it's not a quick fix pill. That's not what we're about. We're about finding the source of the issue and really growing and expanding and bringing everything into an equilibrium. So this is something that you will have with you for life. It's not a quick fix, take a pill, do a quick diet. It's not. It's a really, it's a process of rebuilding your life in a way that's really enhances it and uplifts you and has you with a thirst and a hunger and an excitement and a zest for life. And that's what we're all about. So even though we never intended to be a weight loss program, it is one of the things that happens the fastest, and usually people get off all their medications too, and doctors are like, what are you doing? Keep it up. I think that's a really common testimonial of people that have been with us.
And they do it with doctor supervision.
Yeah, we don't tell you to do anything.
It just happens though when things get balanced. A lot of these side effects, a lot of people are on pharmaceutical drug loops, so you're on a prescription for the side effect of another prescription, and let me know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. So many people are on 8 to 15 different meds, and often the medication they're taking is actually for a side effect from another one. So learning to ask the right questions, people just start to release weight, and there's so much bloating from pharmaceutical drugs that people end up, once they learn how to eat high quality, high water content foods that are right for their body. And everyone's different. Like, the number one thing about releasing weight is everyone's different. And you know, there's definitely, we have our top 5 kind of biochemical tricks that work for everyone, that we know if people drink lots of water, get lots of sleep, move their bodies, and eat high quality, high water content food, they're going to feel better and they're going to release weight. But then there's the whole chunk on the mental side that makes a massive difference. Yeah. And they have to work together, and the mind is in the body. Totally. Mind, body, connect. It is in the body.
Yeah. It's all one. It's all one. We're not separate. I love Paula. It's like they help you open your mind and close your pill containers. That's awesome.
So for those of you watching this later on YouTube, we're going to reshare this video there. You can just check in the description, and there will be a link to join us for the live coaching. And if you miss it, you can just sign up for right now it's called Best You Boot Camp, but we might rename it because there's some folks out there that are like, I'm not the like, boot camp type person. So we've been strategizing to go, what do we call this 6-week journey that's such an on-ramp? So
it's probably more of a breakthrough than a boot camp, because a lot of people have a lot of breakthroughs and really discover so many fun things that then enhance it, like gives them tools and access. You know, so many diets make you feel like, if I'm not doing this, I don't have a hope. Whereas the tools that we give have people go, oh my gosh, I can breathe. This is like something I can do, and this is easy, and this is fun, and I feel good, and this is.
And they're not alone for the first time. We have a big, beautiful community that people share with one another, and they're put into accountability groups so that they can actually, do with others. We're not meant to do things alone. And just like a cancer cell, when a cell gets isolated, it becomes unhealthy and rogue and becomes a cancer cell. And we're a bunch of cells. We're meant to be with other human beings. Like, we're not meant to be, we don't do so well alone for very long. Some people in here are like, I love my alone time. But in terms of longevity and in terms of people keeping you accountable, being in a group is powerful and profound. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I think we're going to share more about this toxic cycle business on Tuesday. Yes. And working with a couple people, and also just sort of giving you an opportunity to come with us on this next 6-week journey. And we just wanted to pop on here to you on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and say hi. And answer some questions, but also just share some of these amazing testimonials. And if you go to my website, paulgreen.com, it'll link you to everything, as well as freedomalchemist.com. Yeah. There's a dash between it, freedom-alchemist.com. Yeah. And all the offers are there. And hi, Sandra Lewis. Yeah. I think Boston Kate's here too.
I just want to say, Kate. Deborah just wrote, who was from the testimonial that we read before. My cardiologist was blown away at how much I've improved. He told me to keep doing what I've been doing. We hear that so much from doctors, doctors that weren't able to help a certain person, and then they're like, what have you been doing? And then the doctors start going, hang on, I'm going to write this down, because to become a doctor, they focus maybe a day and a half on nutrition in their entire.
It's got to be a week.
It's so tiny. It was I was stunned and terrified when I found out what's in the curriculum. It's basically nothing. And we truly believe that food is your medicine. Food will heal you and get back to an equilibrium. It's not pills, it's not all these other things. It's how to use your body in a way that it's supposed to be used. We are born whole, perfect, and complete. Our body wants to heal itself. We cut ourselves, it heals itself. It's no different from any other thing. But if we are not connected to the root cause, which could be emotional or traumatic as well, then how do we heal that if we're not willing to look at it? So there's so many avenues. Everybody is different. So we're going to make sure we look in and
Kathleen's ready to join us. So that she's ready. So there will be a memorial. There'll be a Memorial Day. Is that up yet? The Memorial Day?
No, just click on the link and go for it.
Okay. and check that out. Great. Well, we're going to say goodbye.
Yeah.
And thank you for being here. And if you know somebody that you'd like to bring, just share this video with them, or point them to our website, or just tell them to come with you and to stay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can't wait to see you then.
Okay.
Get ready for the coaching. So have your toxic cycle ready so that we can jump in there and
if you
help
want to sign up, just go do it, and we'd love to have you.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.